Gas prices are seeing noticeable lows both in Joplin and nationwide. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll have more on that coming up.
Plus, a utility provider touts lower heating bills, but a consumer group says their rates have doubled in recent years. And Martin Luther King Jr. celebrations kick off in Fort Scott.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Four-staters are getting some relief at the gas pumps. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. When the year began, national gas prices had reached their lowest point since 2021. And the prices are lower here than in most places. KOAM's Kenny Foreman gives us some insight into what's driving this trend.
If you filled up in Joplin within the past week, you might be paying less for a gallon of gas than at almost any point within the past few years.
My husband, like I said, he has a delivery route, so that's just more money in his pocket. The less he has to spend on fuel. People that do have to drive back and forth to work, it's easier on commutes, a little extra cash, maybe save up for some vacations.
Many drivers throughout the four states are taking advantage of the low prices. It certainly helps when they don't have to pay much more than the price itself.
Missouri is pretty middle of the road when it comes to our fuel tax rate, or the tax that's added on top of gas prices. So that helps keep Missouri, within some of the cheapest prices around the country.
Another contributing factor is the time of year that often sees less people up and about during the cold months.
During the summer times, that's really the height of gasoline consumption for the average consumer. They're taking road trips, they're going on vacations, they're doing a lot of traveling. During the winter months, people tend to want to stay put more and stay warm, stay inside. It gets dark out earlier, makes it a little bit more challenging to travel like you do during the summer months.
With crude oil prices often being a reflection of changing geopolitical relations, it's difficult to predict if the trends will continue. But some are hopeful for positive signs.
I believe that we can turn things around to bring lower gas prices back to the economy and to our fellow Americans, and just make things better how they were before COVID and past upsets we've had in the past years.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas all currently sit well below the national average of $2.84 a gallon. Missouri families face higher utility bills this winter as both Ameren and Spire announce rate increases. Average Spire customers will pay around $9 more each month, a 10% increase. Natural gas rates could also rise $6 to $7 monthly. The Consumers Council of Missouri reports these increases outpace both national inflation and state wages.
When utility rates go up, people have to make hard choices. And usually what happens is that if they can't afford their utilities, the first thing most families will do is just about anything they can to pay those utilities.
Spire officials say 60% of bills cover service delivery costs, while 40% reflects the actual cost of natural gas from Oklahoma and Texas wellheads. The company serves 11 counties in southwest Missouri, 40 counties statewide. Natural gas prices have stabilized due to warmer weather, but officials remain cautious about long-term projections. Let's check in now with meteorologist Austin Stantz for a first look at the weather.
Yeah, thanks to our commute hour in full effect this evening. Looking at Rangeline and East 7th Street. People headed home. Roads are dry tonight. Temperatures fairly mild for this time of year, 41 degrees. Right now, your commute this evening going to be a nice one, right around 42 between 6 and 8 o'clock tonight. We'll see clouds begin to move in as we head into the overnight hours, but we'll be right around 35 degrees overnight tonight. But I am tracking some frigid conditions as we head into the weekend that could bring temperatures down to dangerously low levels where you could see frostbite in as little as 30 minutes. Coming up, we're going to time all that out in my full forecast.
All right, we'll catch you soon. The Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas and its affiliates have opened their annual scholarship cycle. This year, they plan to award nearly $400,000 in scholarships, the largest amount ever. Money is available to students in Kansas and in Oklahoma. The 47 scholarships support both graduating high school seniors and current college students.
So many donors know that education is important in our area and helping educate our local students, hopefully keeping them here once they graduate from college. But these scholarships are really an avenue for them to get support for their education and then hopefully come back with that degree and join our workforce.
The Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas has given out more than $28 million over the past 25 years. This year's cycle, which begins today, runs through March 31st. The Fort Scott community began celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day a bit early with a series of free events at the Ellis Fine Arts Center today. It started with a lunch and learn featuring students from Fort Scott Community College and Pittsburgh State University. The groups performed a tribute reading of Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail. Food and drinks were available. Organizers hope this and similar events bring the community together.
All of these celebrations, we're trying to encourage people to be, open, welcoming, regarding diversity, celebrating the individual contributions of just this wide range of people.
Organizers say these events help highlight the history of American democracy and the shared responsibilities of citizenship. Extreme cold and water pipes coming up. How to protect your household when the temperatures drop well below freezing. But up first, those falling temps can also pose a threat to people. How a blanket drive in Joplin looks to help protect a vulnerable population. First Baptist Church Joplin is hosting a blanket drive for Souls Harbor. KOAM's Nellie Lopez gives us some insight into how the drive helps not only warm up a person, but a community as well.
My brain. What do you need? What are some needs? They said, we need blankets.
First Baptist Church Joplin is holding a blanket drive, one of many community efforts they organize to support those in need.
If we hear from Souls Harbor or any other ministries in town, Cross Lines, Water Gardens, if they need something, we try to help in the best way that we can.
It means a lot to the organization. If it weren't for community members like them who would go out there and gather the stuff and bring it in, and then we're the middleman. We are the ones who get to hand it out to everybody that comes in need.
Jackets, socks, and shoes play an important part in keeping those in need warm during winter. But a little more warmth can go a long way.
They can be shared. It's not just one person that can use a blanket. Maybe there's mamas with kids and they can share the blanket together, whereas jackets or shoes, that's for one person.
You can always wrap up in a blanket, and a lot of people catch themselves out there overnight during the evening, and you got to be able to cover that whole body and not just a jacket.
This drive is more than just providing blankets. It's about coming together as a community to support and care for one another during the coldest of times.
Not everybody has the time to go and do these things, or they don't have the finances to be able to gather up a bunch all at one time. So for everybody to be able to come together at one place and be able to donate like that, and then we'll have more to be able to give out, fabulous, absolutely fabulous. That's why everybody gets to help everybody else.
In Joplin, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
That drive continues until January 25th. Anyone interested can drop off a new, unused blanket at the First Baptist Church Joplin in their donation bins. Those are located by the Engage table. A little bit later, we recognize an organization in Joplin that shelters children during some of the most difficult times.
Mother Nature will be sledding into the 4 states with very cold air, bringing some dangerous temperatures over the weekend. I have details coming up. Well, Thursday didn't turn out to be too bad, but Mother Nature's going to change things up on us heading into the weekend. Take a look. We have this warm front pushing eastward here. This warm front supported by this low pressure that's been pulling warm air from the south. Now, what's going to happen here is we have a upper level trough that's going to help this boundary develop here. As this boundary pushes eastward, it'll actually take over that warm front, become a cold front, and push into our area, changing our winds out of the northwest. This cold front you see off to our northwest, that is going to push in this weekend, bringing those dangerously cold temperatures to the area. We'll talk about that in just a minute. For tonight, right now, still around low 40s at the moment, heading into the overnight hours. Really only going to drop to right around mid 30s tonight. Any of that residual moisture from that warm front that pushes through tonight could bring just a brief sprinkle 1/100 of an inch possible into an isolated area. Not widespread by any means. Now, cloud cover will increase as we head into the overnight hours into our Friday. 35 degrees overnight tonight. We'll see partly cloudy skies. Wind chills, it's going to feel more like 25. Winds are going to pick up overnight tonight to around 20 miles per hour there. Now, taking a look as you're heading out the door tomorrow morning, partly cloudy skies starting the day. It's still going to be a little chilly, 35 degrees. It's more mild than what it usually is this time of year, but you still probably want a jacket. 46 as we're heading into the afternoon hours. We'll see temperatures rising and falling throughout the day due to that cloud cover, mid to upper 40s. Mostly cloudy skies by the time we make our way into the evening hours of our Friday. All right, so here's our winds beginning to move in. Notice the boundary here, wind shift change. Winds coming in Friday overnight there and 20, 25 miles per hour. Still gusting, maybe even near 30 as you're waking up, heading out the door Friday morning. Now, heading into the weekend, as we head into our Friday, it's going to get very chilly out there, and these winds going to feel like pins and needles on your face. So make sure you bring that scarf out with you as well. Earmuffs, you're going to want the whole nine. Take a look at this. This is our jet stream. Take a look how it dips below the four-state area. Now, as that happens, here's our upper flow, and we can also see our temperature map. This pink that you see shaded in here with that jet stream dipping below the four states opens the door for all this cold Arctic air to roll into the four-state region heading into Saturday. So what does that look like for us? Well, a few flurries can't be completely ruled out Friday night into our Saturday. We'll see Saturday starting in the 20s there, but as we head from Saturday night into Sunday morning, check this out here. Temperatures near or below zero, could get as low as -5 degrees out there. So just a few safety tips and what you can do. Don't keep a space heater too close to your furniture or bedding. Make sure you check your tire pressure as you're heading out the door and just give your tires just a brief glimpse. Now, frostbite can occur in as little as 30 minutes or less as you're heading out the door for your weekend. So it's not going to be a great weekend to spend outdoors. 31 degrees Saturday, 39, probably the better day to get some things done. Heading into next week, 33 Monday, it starts a little bit cooler, but we're headed back in the right direction next week, back into the 50s. Tracking our next chance for rain by late next week.
We get through this weekend, and boy, temperatures in the 50s will feel like a heat wave.
Yeah, we'll be back breaking out the shorts again.
Yeah, the Bermuda shorts, the t-shirts. Thanks, Austin. These falling temperatures could leave your water pipes vulnerable to freezing. Missouri American Water shared some tips today to prevent frozen pipes this winter. They recommend homeowners wrap exposed pipes with insulation or heat tape. Then during freezing weather, open cabinet doors to let warm air reach the pipes and to let those faucets drip to keep the water moving. The utility says preparation now prevents expensive repairs later.
Every year we get people that say, I don't want my water bill to go up. Well, if you think about the fact that a gallon of water is just a little over a penny, essentially a trickle is not going to be an impact on your water bill versus if you have pipes that burst, that can be a huge impact.
We have a lot more tips for protecting your pipes on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Check it out. Still ahead, here in the four states and across the country, an officials shortage is impacting athletics. We're going to tell you about one program that's helping to recruit referees. That story and more coming up in sports.
As states across the country continue to fight back against a shortage of officials, there is one program that is making a difference. The Ref Reps program launched back in 2022 with the Indiana High School Athletic Association. The concept was simple, creating a classroom-ready education system to help train, recruit, and prepare officials. Since debuting only a few years ago, the program has expanded to over 1,000 schools and organizations, with institutions in the four states area, including Pitt State, taking part.
They do coursework, they work on the floor, they learn the rules, and then they go out and work for their school or other schools. They get that good experience of working with a quality official and learning how to work the game. But it's approved by the State Board of Education as far as part of the curriculum.
It's a really great program that we have. I think almost 100 members now, whether it's our four-year schools, junior colleges, or high schools, or maybe even a recreation program throughout the state. But it's really cool to see the state of Kansas, if it's a map, if you throw a dart at that, you're probably going to hit a rep school. So really appreciate our schools understanding there's a need for officials and the education piece of it, and also their willingness to try something new because it is different. I can't say enough good things about it because what they're offering and what they're being able to do is give these kids life skills.
This morning, multiple collegiate basketball players were charged in connection to point shaving and fixing outcomes of games. Federal prosecutors charged 20 people, including former and current basketball athletes. According to CBS News, the indictment includes more than 39 athletes on at least 17 Division I teams that fixed or attempted to fix at least 29 games. 4 of those players have been on the court this year, with Kennesaw State's Simeon Cottle, Delaware State's Kamian Shell, Eastern Michigan's Carlos Hart, and Texas Southern's Umar Qureshi. It's been reported that these athletes were paid anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000 intentionally compromising games. In other collegiate basketball news, on Tuesday, the NCAA announced new rule changes to the transfer portal effective immediately. Under these new rules, the transfer portal window is shrinking from 45 days to 15, opening the day after the national championship compared to last year when it opened during the NCAA tournament. For teams that experience a head coaching change, players must wait 5 days after a new head coach is hired or announced, and they will have a 15-day transfer window. And the last change comes with mid-year transfers, as they will not be eligible to play if enrolled at another NCAA school. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. Spire customers in Southwest Missouri face a 10% increase in natural gas rates. How the hike could impact your winter heating bill. Plus, 40 million Americans turn to AI for health advice daily. We're going to look into the promise and concerns of digital doctors. And artists and businesses gather to plan Pittsburgh's 20th Art Walk celebration. Those stories, a lot more, of course, it's all coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We want to shed some light on an organization doing good now. Children's Haven provides emergency shelter for kids when home becomes unsafe. That Joplin facility opened in 2003 and serves children from 6 weeks to 17 years old. Families arrive through referrals from hospitals, schools, social services. The average stay runs about 2 weeks. Staff members maintain normal routines for children, taking them to school and doctor's appointments and activities like basketball practice.
Every day is different at Children's Haven, so it's a fun environment. We try to keep things really upbeat and fun for kids, and we keep them in their normal activities. So we take our kids to, if they're school age, we take them to local schools in the area.
The organization relies heavily on community volunteers who provide meals for the children. Children's Haven operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We're going to have a lot more on this organization in our Doing Good report tonight on KOAM News at 10. You don't need the parka just yet, but you better keep it close at hand because we're going to need them soon enough.
Yeah, how about this, Dow? We went from nearly 20 degrees above average this week to 15 or more degrees below average in the same week. Now, heading into the weekend, notice the overnight low Saturday, 10 degrees. The feel-like temperature will be near or below zero. I'll tell you what, I'll be watching the playoffs, NFL playoffs, and just staying inside.
That looks like a plan I could live with. I'll follow that example. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. In the meantime, please do be careful out there, and let's make it a great evening.